I gotta make sure I'm good. Yeah, see, I got the blue now. Make sure I'm good on YouTube. Gotta make sure I'm good. Yeah, y'all can hear me. See, I gotta make sure I'm good on YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the All Things Life and Sports show with Kylan Thomas. That's me. I'm your host, Kylan Thomas. Let's get into it. Diving into the Pittsburgh Steelers off season. We all know the main topic. We still want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. More information has came out. Not even more information, but Art Rooney II has came out a couple days ago, about a week ago, and has said they are still waiting. I just don't get it. But we'll dive into it a little bit more. First move, we can kind of get into something, semi. They released Preston Smith. Now, they acquired him through trade from the Packers this offseason. This is a cap move. Looks like they'll save about $13.4 million in cap space. He only had 2 sacks in 8 games. He was a healthy scratch for the loss against the Ravens. So that was he's older, release him for cap room. A lot of people thought when this any move they make is in regards to cap room is for Aaron Rodgers. But speaking of Aaron Rodgers, let's kind of get into the QB position a little bit. I want to get into Aaron Rodgers a little later in the show, but the Steelers QB situation is fascinating to me. You let Russell Wilson walk. The thought in letting Russell Wilson walk is that you guys wanted to go younger. The thought in letting Russell Wilson walk was so that you guys could go younger. Just to then let Justin Fields walk. The reports are he didn't like the offense. They didn't want to give him assurances that he'll be the starter. He led y'all to a 4-2 record because y'all want to hinge y'all sword on Aaron Rodgers. Never thought I'd see the day where Tomlin and that Steelers organization would be so desperate to get almost 40-year-old quarterback. Hell, he probably already. How old is Aaron Rodgers? Let me see. 41. The man already 40. Y'all hinging y'all sword to get a 41-year-old quarterback. And this is so weird for me because I was one of the biggest Aaron Rodgers. I love me some Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields led y'all to a 4-2 record. Y'all beefed up your D-line. Signed cornerback Darius Slay. We'll get into that a little bit. But he's going to have a defense behind him. You give him DK Metcalf, good O-line. And y'all let him walk because y'all want Aaron Rodgers? Now, I'm not one of these people that say Aaron Rodgers is just a scrub now. But how is the thought to go younger, get rid of Russell Wilson? You're going from Russell Wilson to an older Aaron Rodgers who can't move. Justin Fields is young, dynamic, playmaker with his legs. Look at what he did when and I'm glad he got the opportunity to play and show. That one thing about a guy to give you an opportunity. With Russell Wilson's injury before the season. But here's Mike Tomlin before the season talking about it, before when they got him and before the season talking about Russell. Talking about Justin Fields and the potential he has, the situation, like we know what he's saying. The situation he was in with the Bears, I feel like the Steelers would have been a great spot for Justin Fields. But here is Mike Tomlin talking about that. Y'all know on YouTube really quickly. I gotta make sure it's good about one time. Could be tripping me sometime.
My gosh, man, it's he oozes talent and potential. He's warm. man, he oozes talent and potential.
All right, yeah, we good. Everything good. Everything kosher. Here again, Mike Tomlin before the season talking about Justin Fields, and he knows how much potential he has.
Oh my gosh, man! He oozes talent and potential. He's worn the responsibility of being a franchise quarterback, but still he gets an opportunity to come into a community like situation and learn from a guy that's been doing it for over a decade. Man, there's a lot of meat left on that bone, man. I'm just excited about working to be a part of extracting it. Oh my gosh, man! he.
So you say you feel he has the ability to be a franchise quarterback. A lot of meat left on the bone, right? You let go of the older quarterback in Russell Wilson to then not give Justin Fields that assurance he's going to be your guy, so he leaves because you want Aaron. It's known that you want Aaron Rodgers. You're meeting with them. You let Russell Wilson go because you want Aaron Rodgers. And they saw Russell Wilson as a backup plan. I said then Russell Wilson is not going to be a Pittsburgh still. He's not going to the Steelers. These guys, and I'm not even saying pride, but that is a professional athlete. That man married to Sierra, making millions. He's not going to be nobody's second choice. So that's where the Pittsburgh Steelers are. And just a couple days ago, and I'm going to play these two clips from Steelers legend Terry Bradshaw and then Trey Wingo giving his thoughts on it as well, because these are the exact sentiments that I feel. The Pittsburgh Steelers, that organization, that fan base, those people are hardworking, blue-collar people. And the Steelers organization is being desperate for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Here is Terry Bradshaw, and he echoed him, and Trey Wingo echoed my feelings on this situation. We're going to do Terry Bradshaw first. I mean, he lit into Aaron Rodgers.
What do you think about possibly Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback? That's a joke. He shouldn't. That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? I mean,
that's not the Steelers' way, right?
No, man. That guy needs to stay in California and go, somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the guys out there.
100%. These guys on the show, Mr. Bradshaw, know I'm not a fan of his. We've been around each other personally, and he was not a kind person.
No, he does not. I had to go over and introduce myself to him. He's not. I had to go, hey, Aaron, I'm Terry Bradshaw. I know he knows me, but I just felt like I better tell him who I am. Yeah. And not, you walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing. So. Oh, hold on. Roger, that was supposed to be something. There you go.
So that was Terry Bradshaw. See the show Morning Mayhem. He was on talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he said the man need to stay in California and go chew on bark or something. And the guy who was in it, I forgot his name, stated that's not the Steelers' way. What the Steelers are doing waiting on Aaron is not the Steelers' way. So that's kind of what got me confused. I never thought I'd see a Mike Tomlin doing all this for Aaron Rodgers. But speaking of, I wanted to set that up because Steelers then traded a 2025 second, and we put it on there. They traded a 2025 second, 6th, and 7th round pick to Seattle for DK Metcalf. I set up the QB situation because they traded, as y'all can see going across the screen, a 2025 second, that was this past draft, for a number 1 wide receiver that you ain't got no quarterback that's going to throw to him. Mason Rudolph is going to throw to him. Will Howard, I believe Skylar Thompson. Here, let me see. I got at least you're hedging your sword on those guys. And I'm getting to that in a minute. 1 second. Yeah, you hinging your sword on Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson. Now, again, like I said, when they traded away George Pickens, and we're going to get into that. When that happened, I said, I see what they're doing. They want to rely on that defense, run the ball, and have a go-to guy. And DK is going to second that because he was asked about Arthur Smith's offense. He said it's a West Coast X receiver. We're going to run the ball. X receiver got to be a good blocker, physical, which Mike Tomlin said he wants physicality. They wanted to become more physical this offseason. And DK talked about Tomlin loving his play style, going all the way back into college, going back into the combine meeting they had with each other. We're going to play that clip as well. But like I said, when they traded George Pickens, this seems to be the move. They're going to go with that this year. And if it don't work out, they'll be in position to get their quarterback next season. I feel like even at this point, Steelers fans, they don't even want Aaron Rodgers. Steelers fans are done with Aaron Rodgers. But you traded a 2025 second, 6th, 7th round pick for Seattle. For DK Metcalf, got him from Seattle. Again, my question is, then we thought this was to pair him with George Pickens. So if you go into the season with Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson, and I believe Will Howard is going to eventually be good. You go into the season, they could have had both DK and George Pickens to throw to. So now it's like, who you got outside of DK Metcalf? Calvin Austin. Fans believe Roman Wilson's going to step up. Now, I'll give the Steelers, they got a great track record with wide receivers. They have a great track record, but they are head ain't on straight. See, like almost every receiver, they great, but they head ain't on straight, which is why we're in this position. So you better hope outside of DK, no Pickens, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Skowronek, you sign Robert Woods, and then who's going to throw to these guys? So I like the move. I love the move to go and get DK Metcalf. Feel how you feel about him. Is he a true one receiver? He's had years. He'll go 900 yards, 1,000, 900 yards, 1,000, 900. He went 9, 1,000, 9, 2 straight 1,000. 9 this past season was a 9. The past season was a 9. Him and George Pickens kind of had about the same amount of yards. Pickens led the Steelers in receiving yards. They should have kept Pickens. Exactly. That's what I said. I felt like if you're going to get DK Metcalf, keep Pickens with him so that if you don't get Aaron Rodgers, those quarterbacks will have 2 options to go to. But again, I feel like they are okay with having that big X physical receiver and they're just going to run the ball. They went out and got Caleb Johnson in the draft. But here is, because see, I don't like to just talk. I'm going to give my clip. Here is DK talking about that Arthur Smith offense. And he kind of just confirmed what I said that they're going to try and do this year offensively because they feel like their defense is going to be good. Let's see. Oh, I forgot. We could say that because I'm gonna get into Aaron Rodgers a little more. We'll say Trey Wingo talking about Aaron Rodgers.
You know about an Arthur Smith offense?
I think it's a very West Coast centric offense to where he's going to feed the ball to the X receiver. They're going to run the ball heavy. So, you got to have receivers that can block.
Physicality.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am.
He preaches that all the time. In terms
for anybody that missed it, I'm going to play that again. What I've been saying.
What do you know about an Arthur Smith offense?
I think it's a very West Coast centric offense to where he's going to feed the ball to the X receiver. They're going to run the ball heavy. So, you got to have receivers that can block.
Physicality.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been feeling like the Steelers are going to do. That's what I feel like they want to do. But also here is DK talking about Tomlin and kind of his loving his play style, his physicality, going back into the combine meetings from 2019. So all of that just coincides with kind of their visions for the offense this season.
Stuck out to me was the way he complimented me on my play style, even when I was in college, and even after the combine, just meeting him after the games or before the games, he would always compliment me about my play style. So that just really stuck out to me, that another opposing team's head coach would take the time out of his day or his game plan just to come up to me and just compliment me. Just meant a lot to me.
He always says he's a football.
So there's that. And I already kind of got into the QB situation a little bit, but lastly, here's DK talking about the trade and his thoughts on the current Steelers QB situation. Get that pulled up.
Like I said, man, when I hopped on the phone with those three great gentlemen, they made me felt welcome first off, and then secondly, they made me feel like they had the right decision, with who's going to be throwing the football. I'm not making a decision in the quarterback room, so I'm just going to try to do the best of my abilities to, help whoever they have out there throwing the football. So, they make the correct decisions, to bring the quarterback in here. So I'm just going to roll with that. Yeah. Right.
You hope they make you better hope they make the correct decision. You're going to go to Geno Atkins to Mason Rudolph. Geno Atkins to Will Howard, rookie, or Skylar Thompson. Skylar's not playing unless one of them two guys hurt. It's them two. I ain't probably gonna mention Skylar Thompson no more. You better hope. Say what y'all want about Geno Atkins, but and one of them would be a downgrade to go from Geno Smith to damn Will Howard or Mason Rudolph. Steelers then signed cornerback Darius Slay to a 1-year deal. He stays in Pennsylvania. We all know that I was in it with these Eagles fans on TikTok this past season. I remember that game, Steelers versus Eagles. So for him to sign with the Steelers, I mean, he's a veteran, Super Bowl champ. He's a winner. Dante Jackson is no longer there, who led the team in interceptions with 5. He'll have Joey Porter alongside on the opposite end of them. Got that D-line, Cam Hayward. So I'm interested to see how good is he going to be. I mean, I'm not one of those people to say just because I'm here. Let me see. I think Darius Slay is like, let me see. Yeah, Darius Slay is 34 years old. So I mean, I don't really know how much you're going to get out of him. I mean, you could say it's only a year later. It's a couple months later. But he just played a whole season, played a Super Bowl. He won in no top nothing on quarterback rankings. Cooper DeJean was, though. Kenyon Mitchell was, though. So some of that is how much can you say he was alongside a number one total defense, that D-line, Cooper DeJean, Kenyon Mitchell, that linebacker core. So how much of that can you say was Darius Slay just being a part of that? So then it's how much of that can he bring to the Steelers where he'll be opposite Joey Porter. They got a good D-line, Wide and Cam Hayward, and they drafted a rookie Derek Harmon, D tackle. I think he's going to be pretty good. So I mean, he's going from a number one ranked defense to a Steelers defense that was ranked number 12. How much can he really come in and truly help that defense? We'll see. But I do like pairing him with Joey Porter Jr. Here is Darius Slay kind of talking about coming in, being that mentor for these guys and these these younger players. And let me see. Yeah, Darius Slay is 34 years old. That is. Let's see.
After my guy Rasheem Mathis retired, when I was in Detroit, he kind of grew me and told me, this could be your position one day, as in just helping mentor younger guys. And that's the main thing you need to be doing. I know it's all about winning and and trying to do whatever. But it's way more exciting, way more feeling better than helping another guy be successful as well. So that's why I've been taking it to every team I done went to is, make sure I mentor the younger guys because, we want everybody to be a winner.
All right, so Slay. We're just calling you Slay.
It's Slay.
All right, I
Slay.
like it.
So that was Darius Slay on kind of coming in. Like he said, I want to win, but coming in, being a mentor and we'll see. We'll see how much the Steelers get out of Darius Slay. Then they signed former Raven linebacker Malik Harrison, running back Kenneth Gainwell, cornerback Brandon Eccles. If you kind of look at the moves they made this offseason, I'm not going to go down all of them. They brought in a lot of kind of below average players. If you look at their PFF, depending on how y'all feel about PFF, looking at their PFF grades, a lot of them were below average. Those could be special teams, depth. Re-signed Isaiah Loudermilk. I think they Steelers drafted him back in 2020, and I think I saw that was he's one of the only draft pick that is still currently with the team going back to that time out of these current drafts they done had. So that was something a lot of Steelers fans, they got to draft better. They just got to do better. But yeah, they brought in a lot of below average, like I said, people that probably they view as depth, special teams, or somebody that think could be better in their system overall. So let me see. Next, that running back position. Steelers signed restricted free agent Jaylen Warren to a 1-year tender. Let's see, let Najee Harris walk. Like I say, I gotta be. I'm my own producer. But we're gonna get it how we get it. Let Najee Harris walk. I'm not gonna lie. Average 2 yards per carry. I don't know how Najee gets 1,000 yards. It beats me. Feel how you feel about him. There were times Jaylen Warren was in the game a majority of the time because he had the hot hand. With Jaylen Warren, though, I'm just interested to see, can he be a 3-down back every game? Can Jaylen Warren be that for you? I'm gonna play this clip because it's interesting on Najee Harris talking about his time in Pittsburgh and kind of how that went. It's funny because he says in the clip, I don't want to get too much into it, but then he goes and dives into what really, or kind of his thoughts on went down. He said, "Sniper, hey, yes." And I had been saying, any fans, I can come on here and do this. Any fans of these teams, I would love to speak to fans of these teams because y'all have a little more. When we fans of a team, we dive in a little bit more than the average person. So I love to talk to fans to kind of see given that you're on here, what's your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers? What's your thoughts on them letting Najee Harris go as a Steelers fan? Because the outside view, yeah, Najee get 1,000 yards, but he averaging 2 yards per carry. How much did he really help that Steelers offense? But he talks about it himself. I mean, he says he feels like he could have been better in a lot of aspects, but then Big Ben left, they wide receivers left. And I'm gonna let him say it because I pulled the clip.
Yeah, man, my time in Pittsburgh was, it was a lot of learning and things. It was a lot of learning experiences, playing for my team, playing in that division. It was a lot of things in ways where I didn't even realize, what the NFL really was about until I came to Pittsburgh. I don't want to go in detail with it, but I feel like, there was a lot of stuff in my game where I could have elevated more and I could have did more, and I was saying that, and I feel like I just didn't get it done. I feel like I was just missing something, and I learned a lot in ways where even how the game is played, how X's and O's of the game, the little small identity things that could tip off a defensive player that I do, with just looking both ways when it's a run or just staying focused on or just looking straight when it's a pass. Small details that I learned, and I feel like while I was elevating, it was just the time just ran out. Because it was just a team where we lost Ben, we lost a lot of O-line. We just didn't know anything on offense, really. We didn't have identity. We had a young guy coming at quarterback. I was young, the team was young, and I really didn't have nobody to almost learn from the offensive side. I think the veteran guy on that team was like a 2-3 year vet, and that's really nothing. You know what I mean? Like, he's still learning himself, and I'm coming in, and I'm just trying to look for people to pick their brain off of, and it was just defensive guys. So I'll go to the defensive guys to talk to them, but it wouldn't be too much they could tell me about an offensive thing. You know what I mean? So through my years, I learned a lot that only I learned firsthand, and I feel like here, we got a lot of veterans that I could learn even more stuff from, and even at the quarterback position and the O-line position, so it was an interesting year there. I'll just.
I done figured out how to take myself off while these videos playing. Hold on, let me. I gotta make sure I get. Yeah, I done figured out how to take myself off. I'm figuring this StreamYard out, but so yeah, that was a lot. There was Najee Harris talking about Pittsburgh. He said that we had no offensive identity, brought in a young QB. I didn't have no vet. So he'll tell you himself he could have did a little better. But this is what we talk about, man. Like, and I'm seeing a lot of Steelers fans. This is why I said I'm gonna post it, and I hope a lot of Steelers fans give their takes. But the Steelers way, man, like what's happening to the Steelers organization, the Steelers way? Like I think Tomlin should be on the hot seat. They being desperate for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the moves they've made in the draft, and it seems like they're trying to get back to it this year and getting DK a physical wide receiver, drafting a D lineman, drafting Caleb Johnson. But what's going on with the Steelers organization, the identity of the Steelers organization? And that's on Mike Tomlin too. Like, this man just said these last 4 years, he ain't really had no offensive identity, and you the head coach, bro. The problems Tomlin has had with OCs and not like, but here's the next. Here's the next one of the next moves I want to talk about. Let me see. He said Pickens was not. I'm not gonna say he wasn't a good player. I will say I don't get the hype around him. I think he would have been good paired with DK Metcalf. I don't get, like, it's a lot of Steelers fans that's mad about them letting Pickens go. I don't really get the hype around him, but I think he would have been good with DK Metcalf. But and on that, here's the next move: traded George Pickens and a 2027 6th-round pick to the Cowboys for a 2026 third and a 2027 fifth round. Y'all gave Seattle a second for DK. And the issue with this trade is, as well, a lot of fans are saying, shit, we only got a third and a fifth, 2026 third. I mean, because third rounders are starters in the NFL, especially in this third rounder. You got to be able to come in and do something. So they probably could get a good player with a third round. But then again, it's the Cowboys. So how deep into that third round is that pick going to be? They make the playoff. They just don't go far enough in the playoff. So that's another issue. You ain't really getting nothing back for him. And I'm going to put some clips in here of Steelers GM Omar Khan talking about the trade and his thoughts, where he sees the wide receiver position is and why he felt comfortable in doing the trade. But again, so you trade away George Pickens. You don't have a quarterback. Offensively, I'm just interested. I'm just interested to see what the Steelers team is going to look like offensively, especially if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still going to take Aaron Rodgers over Mason Rudolph. And like I said, I think Will Howard is going to be good. But it's one of those, you draft Will Howard, are you going to give him the leash, the time to develop and show that he's a good quarterback? Because this day and age, which Falcons said we don't care about this day and age, Packers said we don't care about this day and age with how they did their QB situations, which is cool. I love that. And that might be what the Steelers are trying to do. But say Will Howard gets playing time and you don't feel like he's that guy, and you're in position to draft the quarterback next season, What are you going to do? But traded away George Pickens. Again, you only got one guy that you can really say, DK Metcalf, and then no quarterback throwing to him. We all know what happened with Pickens that time there, the interviews, the crash out moments. And I just wanna, here, let me see. Again, like I said, he led the team in receiving yards. So you traded away your leading receiver. Had 900 receiving yards. That was the leading receiver at 900 yards. I think DK had 992. So they're not far off from each other. That's why I said I felt like they would have been good together. But you only got a third round pick for him. That leads me to believe. And in this clip I'm going to play, he probably not going to say it in the clip, but I listened to the interview, the press conference. He kept mentioning fresh start, fresh start, fresh start. Great for all sides, all parties. Fresh start, fresh start, fresh start. This move only getting the third, and this lead me to believe they were just tired of the headache, which we all knew. That's what I said. We all knew what was going on with Pickens and the Steelers. He's tired. They were tired of the headache of George Pickens. But here is Omar Khan on trading away Pickens and kind of how that went down. Or like I said, gonna keep mentioning fresh start, fresh start, fresh start. What is up with the Steelers and these wide receivers? Why y'all keep getting these head case wide receivers?
I don't normally speak around this time, but I figured I'd answer some questions. With the trade, it sort of happened quickly. We had some people inquire during the draft, nothing that really made sense, and Cowboys reached out. I don't really remember what day it was, but earlier this week, and they gave us they proposed something that for us to think about, and we had conversations internally. I also had some conversations with George's agent, Dave, who I have a good relationship with. And, we discussed where things, I guess, have been with George, where they are, and, where things could go with George. And, this trade made sense for everyone.
So not really too much information, but kind of, again, trade made sense for everyone. We were getting calls around the draft, and that made sense. So that was that, just kind of outlining. He even said, I usually don't do these press conferences, but I know I done traded away our wide receiver who a lot of fans and media thought was going to be the guy. So I got to come over here and answer these questions. But here he is talking about the layout of the team, and because he was asked, like, I mean, you traded away George Pickens. I mean, what's your thoughts on the wide receiver core? Like, and he says, I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't. He's gonna say that, but here's him. They felt that man was a headache and they wanted him out of there. Y'all don't believe that. Y'all are. You don't. If you're football, you do not believe you're in a better position trading away George Pickens rather than having him paired with DK Metcalf. You don't believe that. But here's him talking about where he feels and views the visions of the team and the wide receiver core at this current time.
We wouldn't have done this if we didn't feel good about the this receiver situation, about our depth here. I know people make the comparison about last year. It's not even close to being the same. Like obviously we made the investment with DK. We've had another year with some of the young guys and gotten to know them, watch them develop. We had a Robert Woods. Like I said, we've had Roman's healthy. I've seen him the last couple weeks out here. And how he's doing, and we saw how he was progressing at the end of last year. Obviously, he didn't get the chance to to get on the field, but there was some excitement there. But we have a good group. There's some guys that are back, and we've seen their growth and have another year under our belt with them, and feel good about it.
So, like I said, kind of in the beginning, when we talked about trading for DK, I'm seeing a lot of Steelers fans, like people are saying these wide receivers that you have need to step up. I'm seeing a lot of Steelers fans excited about Roman Wilson. I believe he was injured last season. They drafted him last season. They're excited about Roman Wilson. Can Roman Wilson step up in that position that George Pickens was in? Like I stated, the Steelers have a good track record with drafting and developing wide receivers. They're just always head cases. And I just realized my hoodie is blending in with this. That is crazy. But they got a good tracker with wide receiver. So that's what he's saying. I mean, I feel like we got a good core. Like we don't got to keep putting up with Pickens and his antics. And speaking of these antics, I just want to play y'all a couple of clips of George Pickens, and I want to show a little snippet of somebody put together like an edit of DK Metcalf's crash outs and George Pickens crash outs, which is funny. You traded away Pickens and you got DK, who also gonna give you some offensive penalties, but it's the off the field shit with George and the interviews but I just want to play y'all a couple of snippets just so y'all can we can get a sense of who George Pickens was with his time in Pittsburgh. Then man.
DK Metcalf, he accumulates way too many penalties out of frustration.
The Cowboys win. Pickens will get a flag.
Some of that coastal breeze that Mike Garafolo and Jerome McCoy are getting.
We got a big fight behind us right now.
I'm gonna let you guys dig in for a second while we see what's going on behind us.
Get radio slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Frustration boiling over. Look at DK Metcalf. That's kind of a side hit there, way away from the play.
There is an arm around the waist, but it's got to be a significant turn before the ball gets there in my.
He goes with the jump, and there could have been a face mask there to get his hand up underneath St. Juice.
I think. And then this is how that feeling started.
Throws the deep ball. Pickens is not there. Washington is intercepted by Jeremy Chinn.
And they play on as the Giants take over. O'Carrick.
Boys win. Pickens will get a flag.
Throws incomplete. That was Jackson on the coverage of pick.
God, there is an arm around the waist, but it's got to be a significant turn before the ball gets there, in my opinion. He does have his arm around there.
And now Pickens selfish. Okay. Watch the right hand for Pickens come in. Okay, that's not good. Watch.
So those just were little clips of George Pickens. Honestly, I don't think he's that bad. It's not that bad. He was worse than George looked like. The man took a water bottle and spraying the water on somebody. But I played all that to now play. He did his interview with the Cowboys, and this is what we got when he's in Dallas.
Something that they don't know about you.
That I'm actually like a chill guy. It's like a big phase of a tornado that's not even true. I'm not a chill guy, and I just love to work.
Are you a tornado on the field more so than?
I wouldn't say that. Kind of more disciplined.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
So, again, football is a very emotional sport. Like he said, I'm a chill guy. It's a lot out there about me. And if you look at his crash outs, they're not even that bad to me, honest. I think people are just a little sensitive. But let me see. Now, because I said I wanted to dive into this just a little bit more, because I had a couple of clips. I wanted to play clips of Aaron Rodgers saying himself kind of what's going on in his process and how media and people keep putting out stuff about him, and he said, I ain't said shit, and for some reason this keep being put out. I haven't said anything, but this is on the Steelers and that organization. This is on Art Rooney II, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan. This is on them. This is not on Aaron Rodgers. Why are y'all letting this man hold y'all hostage? Y'all are letting him hold y'all hostage. Like, he got personal stuff going on, but he want to throw with DK Metcalf. He want to hint at a pot, not even a pot on stage. The little girl asked him about playing. He want to hint, oh, but there is a team that plays in Chicago on a road trip. I might think about playing there. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's milking the F out of this. He's milking this so bad, and the Steelers organization is just going for it. Like, again, at this point, the fans are just like, we don't want them. They didn't want him anyway. They wanted Justin Fields. But I just wanted to come in here and play clips of Aaron Rodgers himself saying what's going on and kind of what he's told the team and stuff like that. But first, I'm going to play Trey Wingo also talking about it, because I said, that sounds like the same thing I've been saying.
So the old saying is desperate times call for desperate measures. And I think desperate is the perfect word to describe what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. Is they just continue to wait for Aaron Rodgers to bless them by making some sort of announcement. And if they do have some sort of agreement in place already for him to be their quarterback, why are they letting him skip out on all these things and all these activities in the spring where he could actually, get to know his teammates and try and figure something out and get to know them a little better? He eventually may sign with Pittsburgh, but the way Pittsburgh is just letting Aaron Rodgers do whatever he wants and take all the time in the world, they look really desperate. It is not a good look for a franchise that has won as many Lombardi trophies as the Pittsburgh Steelers have. They are quarterback desperate.
And that's where I'm at with it. That's the same. Like, you got OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp. OTAs is already started, and don't worry, we're gonna play that clip with Joy Taylor. That's who messes it up for women in sports who want to talk about sports. Baby, he ain't even on the team to be in OTAs. But bro, you got all these things you need to be doing, especially if you're going to a new team. He did it with the Jets, though. I don't know why surprised. He didn't go to OTAs for the Jets. You got all this stuff you could be doing to learn your teammates, get a rapport with DK. And I'm gonna play that in the background while I talk. But then we got this right here. Like, you come out throwing with DK Metcalf. Like, at the end of the day, yes, he's not saying much, but you're entertaining it. You're milking it as well, because you know what this is going to cause. Bro, you need to make a decision. If I'm the Steelers at this point, we're Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, they look very bad. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna. If I'm the owner, he ain't gonna be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Bro, you gotta come to camp. You gotta come to these things. Like, shit, we gotta get you a locker. Shit, like, it's so much that goes into this. And I don't play obviously I don't play football, but I play soccer and I play at a high level. I'm a part of teams. Like, you got to get a rapport with people, man. Shit, like, yes, you're great. You're going to come in and be good. But then they got to be able to trust. Football is one of those. We got to be able to trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. We out here probably could possibly die on the field. I got to be able to trust that you got my back, that you for us. And Aaron Rodgers, as of these years of late, he don't have a good track record with that. And that is who the Steelers want to hinge their sword on. If I'm Art, especially Mike Tomlin, I'm shocked Mike Tomlin going for this shit. If I'm Art, He's not a Steeler. If I'm telling him he's not a Steeler, we're gonna go with Mason. Will most likely gonna get in at some point, and that's what it's gonna be. I'm with Cam Hayward, and I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play what he said about that. I'm with Cam Hayward at the point, bro. If you're gonna be a Steeler, be a Steeler. I ain't gotta do no recruiting pitch. I ain't gotta do none of that. If you want to be a Steeler, be a Steeler. But here's Aaron Rodgers on personal stuff he got going on, and bro, we all got personal stuff. But here's Aaron.
Told them in March, in the beginning, the very beginning, you get asked any one of the teams I talked to. That was the conversation, but also the conversation about where I was at in my personal life, the stuff I'm dealing with off the field, in my inner circle. That has to take my attention right now. And so I wasn't, stringing anybody along. I wasn't holding anybody hostage. I was honest from the jump about where I was at mentally, and some of the constraints that I have in my life right now that warrant my attention.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by Ketchup, Tangy Barbecue.
Oops, McDonald's just got promo out of me. But so yeah, that was Aaron Rodgers on. Let me see. That's pretty much the personal issues. He let the teams that he spoke to, he let them know about said personal issues. So he's like, they're not in the dark. Nobody's in the dark. They know. So that's why I say it just makes the Steelers look even more worse. Like I said, we all got personal shit going on. Bro, you made how much money Aaron Rodgers has made in his career. You could do a simple courtesy. Are you gonna play for us or not? That's where I'm at with it. But here he is on kind of the media narrative and the stuff people keep putting out about the situation. And he's saying, I ain't even said nothing. Yet somehow something keeps coming out about my decision. Here's him talking about that.
Yeah, listen, I don't have sources. I don't have people that are out there pushing narratives. I speak for myself. And it's been nice to be quiet for the last few months. It's funny in that time period how the shit narrative goes fucking crazy, right? When I haven't said a fucking word. So there's nothing to say. I just laid out where I'm at. There's nothing else to report. There's no other reason to be continuing to talk about me at this point. So it's time to turn the page. All those people that have made a lot of money slandering my name, apologize for COVID. Okay. Say
that man funny. But so yeah, that was kind of Aaron Rodgers talking at first. I played the first clip. Y'all go back and watch it of him just now. Talking about he's got personal issues. Like we all done got personal issues, and he let teams know I'm not focused on where I'm playing at right now. I'm worried about what I'm dealing with. Report. I don't even want to put a report in there because these reports I'm not even gonna say it. Of what those reported personal issues are. If you want to know, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna speak that because these reports, we all know about these reports. And then that was him as well on the media narrative and kind of what people are putting out. Now, to kind of quickly dive into their draft class, I like their draft class. It's a a lot of big names in it. Derek Harmon, Caleb Johnson, Jack Sawyer, Yaya Black, Will Howard. I mean, it looks like a good draft class. I like Jack Sawyer. He's obviously just won a national championship with Ohio State, made the play. Yaya Black, Derek Harmon, and Will Howard. I believe Will Howard is going to be good. I just want to know if they're going to give him that time to develop and give him the leash because these teams drafting these guys and ain't developing, and when they don't pan out, you moving on to the next guy. If you ain't developed that guy, you better hope you can develop the next guy. But I just don't know if they're gonna give him that leash. But I think Will Howard is gonna be pretty good. He's a winner, won at Ohio State. Derek Harmon shoring up that D line, Sawyer shoring up that D line. And then you got Caleb Johnson. You let Najee Harris walk. got Caleb Johnson in, so to pair with Jalen Warren. So I mean, I like the Steelers draft class. But I wanted to play this clip really quickly of what Aaron Rodgers said about yes, as I said, yeah, Caleb Johnson. You let Najee walk, you bring him in. So I like the Steelers draft class too. The draft class replaces some things. So I like that they went out and got Caleb Johnson. Here is Aaron Rodgers really quickly on again, and this was recent. This was a couple of days ago on hinting that he's gonna sign with Pittsburgh.
Where will Aaron Rodgers ever go to the Bears?
Oh boy. Security, can we get her out of here? I need some security. Security,
can you take it easy on her?
No, but I believe there's a team that might play in Chicago this year. On a road trip. I don't know. I'm not sure. Gotta check it out.
Obviously, the Steelers have an away game in Chicago this year. So, like I said, when things were putting out, he wasn't saying nothing, but he's very, very much playing into the talks, because that video was a couple days ago. And then lastly, here's Cam Hayward talking about, because I said I was gonna play it. If you want to be a Steeler, come be a Steeler. If not, I ain't got to do no recruiting pitch. Just come be on the team if you want to be a part of it. And that's kind of where I'm at with it.
They called you and were like, we need you to follow him into the darkness for a couple days. He says if you come down there with him, he's signing. Are you going to be off the grid for a little bit, go to the darkness and try to get this guy? We need you. You're our best recruiter. I'm about to get to Darius Slay, and it sounds like you recruited him too. So we need you to start recruiting. Get that NIL bag out like you did at Ohio State.
I ain't doing that darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap. Like, either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. Like, if you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. You know, Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. And that's where I feel like a lot of that Steelers locker room is at with it. That's why I figured the coach like that got the reputation that Mike Tomlin does. That's kind of where I feel like he would be at with it. But yeah, Steel City, still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And I feel bad for y'all fans, because that ain't even something y'all should be dealing with, man. But if we kind of dive into some of the acquisitions that I've stated, trades, moves, departures, I'm sorry, Steelers fans, but I'm going to have to give y'all offseason a C+. I'm going to have to give y'all offseason a C+, simply because of the not even the quarterback position. Again, I like drafting Will Howard. I think he's going to be good. Serviceable. I just don't like how they've let this Aaron Rodgers situation play out. I don't like how they let it play out. You trade away George Pickens. You could have paired him with DK Metcalf. Dante Jackson has walked. You sign an older Darius Slay, who we hope we get something out of him. Like I said, I see the vision. Like I stated when y'all traded him, I see the vision. Y'all just better hope it works out. Y'all better hope y'all defense is good enough. But let me pull this up. That's kind of what I'll give y'all. I'm sorry, Steelers fan, because y'all been on here. I'm gonna have to give y'all a C+ for this offseason, man. If you in here, give your grade as a fan. Give your grade on where you think, or like how y'all offseason moves have played a part. Let me see. I wanted to go probably B-, but no, I had to do C+. I had to do C+. But I want to end off right here. I'm not going to do my due diligence if I don't. Here's Joy Taylor talking about why is Aaron Rodgers not at OTAs. This who make it hard for us women who want to talk sports and want to talk football. I'm gonna just let y'all listen, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents after.
Why? Why? This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have 6 Lombardies. They're coached by first ballot Hall of Fame Mike Tomlin.
They don't have a
never
quarterback.
had a losing
They don't have a
season.
quarterback.
And we're sitting around talking about Aaron Rodgers is not there on the first day of OTAs. Mandatory or not, where's your pride? Where's your dignity?
That's why I say I'm going to give him another day.
Where's your respect for the game? Where's your respect for this organization? Where's this organization's respect for the history that they have in this league? What are we talking about? He's never played there before. He doesn't know any of these teammates. He doesn't know the streets to get to the facility. He doesn't know the doctors. He doesn't know the rehab crew. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know where to get his smoothies. Nothing. Like, why would you not be there? Why am I supposed to take this seriously? It's not about him not being at non-mandatory OTAs for a team that he's been with for 22 years. Do what you want to do. You won 5 games last year. The year before that, you didn't play because you tore your Achilles. The year before that, you missed the playoffs. What are we talking about?
And this is, and I feel like this is why Keyshawn didn't. Even Paul, you just sitting there, bro. Say something. This is why Keyshawn didn't say nothing, because, and as a woman, I'm cool with diversity, equity, inclusion. I'm cool with that. Keyshawn, you were the number 1 overall pick. Why didn't you out your mouth say, Joy, he's not at OTAs because he has not signed with the Steelers yet? Say he needs to sign so that he can be there. Like I said earlier, he needed to go ahead and sign. The Steelers, this is on the Steelers organization, because he needed to sign so that he could be there for OTAs, get to know everybody. But Joy, for you to sit up here and say, why is he not at OTA? Baby, he ain't signed yet. He's not mandated to be there. He's not a Steeler. And I saw that headline. I don't know why Kirk Cousins isn't in play for the Steelers anyway. But that's it. That's all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I thank the Steelers fans that have came on and tuned in and commented. Again, I will come back on here and talk about the Steelers. I want fans of teams to come join me talking about y'all teams. I'm on the AFC North right now. I've already done the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens. Even the fans of those teams want to come back and dive a little bit more into other shit that's happened, or if you want to give your take, let me know, because I want to talk to fans of teams, because y'all have a little more insight than just the casual person. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. As y'all can see, like, subscribe, share, comment. Make sure everything done before you try to have fun. Peace.